NVIDIA just dropped something huge, something that could totally change how we build AI. We're talking about the new Nemotron 3 family of open models. Yeah, this is a big deal, so let's just jump right in. For the past few years, it feels like all we've talked about are these big, single chatbots, right? And don't get me wrong, they're amazing, but they do have a ceiling. So the big question is, what's next? What comes after the chatbot? What do you do when one AI, even a super smart one, just can't handle the really tricky, complex stuff? Well, that very question is pushing us into the next major shift for AI. We're moving away from the idea of a single solo chatbot and into a future built on teams of AI agents all working together. And that future has a name: Agentic AI. Look, instead of one AI trying to do everything, a jack of all trades but master of none, just imagine a team of specialists. Think of it like a hospital. You wouldn't want your family doctor performing open heart surgery, right? No way. You have a whole team: the surgeon, the anesthesiologist, the cardiologist, each an expert in their field. That's exactly the idea behind Agentic AI, a team of digital experts.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but here's the catch. Building these AI teams is really hard. Developers run into some major walls. First off, it's super expensive to have all these models running. Then, getting them to talk to each other without messing things up is a total nightmare. And have you ever been in a long meeting where everyone forgets the original point? That happens to AI too. It's called context drift. And maybe most importantly, you have to actually trust them. And that's tough without being able to see what's going on under the hood.
So, given all those problems, how do you actually make this Agentic AI thing work in the real world? Well, that's where NVIDIA comes in, and it's the whole reason we're here today. Their answer? The Nemotron 3 family. And what's cool is that NVIDIA built these models from scratch with one goal in mind: to break down all those barriers, the cost, the complexity, the trust issues that have been holding Agentic AI back. This quote from their CEO, Jensen Huang, really gets to the heart of it. He talks about open innovation, and that's key. By making Nemotron open, NVIDIA isn't just creating another closed-off product. They're basically handing the keys to the entire developer community, saying, here, go build the future, and do it efficiently and openly. So what's the big deal here? Why are we even talking about this? Let's just hit the highlights. First, it's a whole family of models, not just one. They're built on this super efficient new design. The smallest one, it's up to 4 times faster. The accuracy is top-notch, and this is a big one, it's not just the models. It's a whole ecosystem of tools that comes with it. All right, so how does NVIDIA actually pull this off? Let's get a little technical and look under the hood. The secret sauce here is a totally different way of thinking about the architecture. The old way was one giant model trying to do everything, that jack of all trades. The new way is something called a mixture of experts. The best way to think about it is like a super smart project manager who knows exactly which team member is best for each little piece of a project and sends the work to them instantly. And here's why that's so important. With a mixture of experts model, people call it MOE for short, you're not using the entire massive brain for every little task. Instead, this smart router figures out which experts it needs for a specific problem and only wakes them up. It's a total game changer for efficiency. It cuts down on costs and makes everything run so much faster. And because of this MOA design, NVIDIA can offer a whole lineup of models for different jobs. You've got Nano. Think of it as the quick, efficient one for everyday tasks like summarizing text or finding bugs in code. Then there's Super, which is like the team leader, perfect for managing those complicated multi-agent projects. And then you have Ultra. That's the big brain, the heavyweight for really deep, complex research and reasoning. So just how much more efficient are we talking? Well, the new Nano model has up to 4 times the throughput of the last version. Throughput is just a fancy word for how much data it can chew through at once. So in plain English, it's way, way faster. And that's absolutely critical for apps that need to be snappy and for, not breaking the bank on your compute bill. And get this one's a big one. It has a 1 million token context window. Okay, what does that mean? The context window is basically the AI's short-term memory. 1 million tokens is massive. It's like being able to read War and Peace and still remembering a character's name from page 5. This is what solves that context drift problem we talked about. It helps the AI stay focused on the mission no matter how long the task is. But like I mentioned earlier, this is way more than just a model release. NVIDIA is giving developers the whole workshop, not just a new engine. They're calling it the NVIDIA Open Agent Stack. It's the complete package. You get the Nemotron 3 models. That's your high-performance engine. But then they give you the fuel, huge open data sets to train on. And they give you the entire garage full of tools. That's the Nemo libraries, so you can build, tweak, and test your own custom agents. It's really the whole shebang. And trust me, this isn't some pie-in-the-sky idea. The big players are already jumping on board. We're talking about companies like Accenture, CrowdStrike, Oracle, Palantir, ServiceNow, Zoom. The list goes on. The industry is taking this very, very seriously. And this quote from the CEO of ServiceNow really says it all. He's talking about unmatched efficiency, speed, and accuracy. I mean, those aren't just buzzwords. That's the real-world, bottom-line impact that businesses are looking for, and it's what Nemotron is built to provide. All right, so let's zoom out. What does all of this mean for the future of AI? What's the big takeaway here? The big picture is that NVIDIA is essentially building the runway for a whole new generation of AI. By making these tools open and by making them efficient, they're making it possible for anyone to build these specialized AI teams. We're talking about things that used to be science fiction, like AI teams that can run scientific experiments, write complex code, or manage a global supply chain pretty much on their own. So, when can you get your hands on this? The good news is you can start today. The Nemotron 3 Nano model is out right now. And they've given us a roadmap for the big guns. The Super and Ultra models are planned for the first half of 2026, so everyone can start preparing for what's coming. And that really leaves us with one final thought. This idea of agentic AI, it's not some far-off future anymore. It's here. So the question isn't if it's going to change things. The question is how it's going to change your world. As these AI teams get smarter and easier to build, how is that going to reshape your job, your company, your entire industry? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.